Welcome to the Ghostly Chronicles, the Mirrorwell Expedition. In the dense jungles of South America, hidden from maps and satellites, lay a cursed landmark whispered about among the few who knew of it, the Mirrorwell. Supposedly a natural spring with waters as smooth and reflective as glass, the Mirrorwell was said to show a person their truest self, a reflection of their deepest fears and desires, but no one who had gazed into it had ever returned to speak of what they saw. Lena, a daring adventurer with a thirst for the unknown, had been searching for the Mirrorwell for years. Driven by tales from local villagers and obscure texts in forgotten libraries, she believed it was not just a myth, but a place of incredible power. After months of planning, Lena and her guide, Raul, ventured deep into the jungle, armed with machetes, supplies, and an unwavering sense of purpose. For 3 days they hacked through dense foliage, crossed rivers teeming with piranhas, and camped under the watchful eyes of predators. The jungle grew eerily quiet as they approached their destination. Birds stopped singing, and even the hum of insects faded. On the 4th day, they found it, a circular clearing, surrounded by ancient crumbling statues of humanoid figures with blank, featureless faces. At the center of the clearing lay the Mirrorwell. It was smaller than Lena had imagined, no wider than a stone fountain, yet it seemed impossibly deep. Its surface shimmered unnaturally, as though untouched by the breeze. Raul hesitated at the edge of the clearing, muttering prayers under his breath. "We shouldn't be here," he said. "This place is wrong." But Lena was already stepping forward, drawn to the well as if in a trance. She knelt beside it and peered into the water. Her own face stared back at her, unnaturally sharp and vivid. The reflection seemed alive, its expression shifting subtly as though it were its own entity. Behind her reflection, shadows twisted and danced, forming shapes that were not part of the clearing. Then the reflection smiled. It wasn't her smile. It was too wide, too unnatural. Startled, Lena pulled back, but the reflection remained, watching her from the water. "You've come a long way," it whispered, though its lips didn't move. The voice echoed in her mind, soft and serpentine. "Don't you want to see the truth?" Before Lena could respond, Raul shouted. She turned to see him backing away from the statues. Their once blank faces were now etched with cruel, leering expressions. The ground trembled as roots burst from the soil, writhing like serpents and wrapping around Raul's legs. He screamed, struggling against their grip, but they dragged him toward the well. "Stop!" Lena shouted, but the voice from the water laughed. "You can't save him! He's seen too much!" Raul was pulled into the Mirrorwell, his body vanishing beneath its glassy surface. The water remained perfectly still, undisturbed by his descent. Lena's heart pounded, but she couldn't bring herself to flee. The well held her in its thrall. The voice spoke again. "Look deeper, Lena. You'll find what you're searching for." Despite her terror, she leaned closer, unable to resist. The water shifted, showing images from her past, moments of triumph, regret, and heartbreak. Then the images changed, revealing a vision of her standing alone in the jungle, surrounded by shadows with glowing eyes. They crept closer, whispering her name. "No," she murmured, trying to pull away, but her reflection reached out, its hand emerging from the water. Cold, wet fingers gripped her wrist, and the surface of the well rippled, pulling her in. She struggled, but the well's grip was unrelenting. Darkness enveloped her, and the whispers grew louder, echoing endlessly. When Lena opened her eyes, she was standing in the clearing, but something was wrong. The jungle was silent, and the air felt thick and oppressive. The statues were gone, replaced by twisted, blackened trees. The Mirrorwell remained, but its surface was dull, like tarnished silver. She looked into the water and saw herself, but it wasn't her. The reflection's eyes glowed faintly, and its smile was razor-sharp. It spoke, and this time its lips moved in perfect sync. "You're free to go, but the jungle won't let you leave." Lena turned and ran, but the clearing stretched endlessly in all directions. No matter how far she went, she always ended up back at the well. The trees whispered her name, their twisted branches reaching for her. Years later, a new expedition found the clearing. Among the crumbling statues, they discovered an old journal, its pages water-stained and scrawled with frantic writing. The final entry read, "The well knows me. The well is me. If you find this, don't look into the water, don't listen to the whispers, run before it's too late." The team didn't listen. None of them were ever seen again. Please like, share, and subscribe.